Okay, this is just for posterity's sake. This is some deer sausage I was given for free. And this is a frozen whole chicken I bought here a while back for $2.73. So I'm going to let them thaw out for a couple days in the refrigerator so they'll thaw slowly and safely. And then we're going to see how far we can stretch this out, how far we can make them go. Okay, I'm fixing to can up these two items here. This deer sausage somebody gave me, and this chicken I got for $2.73. I'm going to see how far I can possibly make them stretch, and with a bit of discipline. I'm going to make chili out of the deer sausage. With a bit of discipline, I should be able to get 6 meals out of it. And the chicken, I'm not sure, but it can, I can get 2 quarts of meat and 8 pints of broth, so quite a ways. I can make them stretch quite a ways, but fix them to do it and we'll see how it turns out. One of the reasons that I picked chili to make this deer sausage out of is because it only needs 2 ingredients: a 28 ounce can of tomatoes and an onion, and of course the spices. And it'll make 3 pints. And there's my Great Depression pressure cooker, and it works remarkably well. Does an excellent job after all these years. You think back to how long that was ago, the 1930s, for that to still be doing a reliable, accurate job is phenomenal. But anyway, I use the smaller one because that'll only make 3 pints. And like I said, with a bit of discipline, I can make 6 meals out of that. That's just what you have to do when you're unemployed and no benefits, no money coming in. You have to come up with these methods of making things go as far as possible. Anyway, I'm just going to show a couple. Okay, I got her cinched down and pressuring up. I'm going to vent it for a minute or so. The one thing, just a side note, these wing nut handles, to give you an idea of how old this is, that one there was my grandmother's. And you see the wing nut bolts on it. Those are what's called bakelite. Bakelite didn't come out on pressure cookers till around World War II. So this even predates that. And man, let me tell you, you can measure how much America's gone down the crapper by the comparison of the quality of something like this and what will last today. There we go, we're bitten. I'm going to shut it off, so we'll start pressuring up. And in about an hour, actually probably 75 minutes, should be done. Well, there's the finished product on the chili. Like I said, I could, if I manage it right, I can get 6 meals out of that. So that's really cheap to make, really, really cheap. I mean, I could have used hamburger, but like I said, the only ingredients were that I added were the spices and onion and a can of tomatoes. So I'll do the chicken next. Yeah, I got 2 of them going at the same time, and let me tell you, pressure canning requires your undivided attention, especially with these older pressure cookers. The newer ones give you a little bit of leeway. They claim to be automatic, but when you get right down to it, they're really not automatic. You still have to pay close attention to how the weight jiggles. The interesting thing I wanted to say about pressure canning, and I'm having to trim these up because and you do it just by tiny increments. I've had to adjust for altitude, so I'm having to run about 2.5 pounds over what the book recommends for sea level. Anyway, one interesting thing about pressure canning I wanted to say, I have to trim these up just a tiny bit. is after you bring them up to the initial pressure, it takes a fair amount of thermal energy to do that. But once you've achieved that temperature pressure level that you need, it actually takes very little thermal energy to maintain that pressure. So it's actually a very cheap way to preserve food. It's work, yes, but if that's your problem, you better get over that right now, because what's coming down the pike is going to be more work than you ever dreamed of. Anyway, it does require constant monitoring, and even when I get these trimmed up where I want them, I'm going to be coming back. I'll just be in the next trim, and I'll be coming back constantly every 2 or 3 minutes just to make sure that I'm not overpressuring. Because let me tell you, if you ever activate this pressure control, this pressure relief control here, or that one there, you ain't ever going to forget it. Scare the living daylights out of you. So yes, it does require work. It requires vigilance, constant vigilance, and but the rewards are well worth it. By the way, there was one other thing I wanted to bring up. The Achilles heel of pressure canning is the lids, and by that I mean availability of lids. For all you old timers out there like me who may remember, in 1971 there was a critical shortage of these lids. When I say critical, I mean you could not find lids for the entire growing season of 1971. I mean, they were there, but they ran out, and there was never an explanation of why lids could not be found. I remember that my mother would go every week, would go to Safeway and ask them, "Have you got lids yet? Have you got lids yet?" And no. The answer was no, and we didn't get lids until around Thanksgiving. And there was never an explanation of why that was. And for all the people out there that are canning with bale jars that have the reusable ring, all I got to say about that is, yes, they are reusable, and that's a wonderful thing. These are one-time use, but the problem is those do wear out. They do have to be replaced, and the same thing can happen with bale jars. Plus, I'm not comfortable canning meat in bale jars. I know that some people do. I won't take the chance. I'll can vegetables in them, and soups and stocks and things like that. But bale jars are just not the same as one-time use lids. So anyway, I just wanted to mention that the lids, the strategy to dealing with that is to do like I did, which is you buy them by the case like that, so that you don't run out and you'll always be way ahead. Just simple common sense planning. Okay, I got 2 quarts of chicken boned out of that chicken that I had, 1 quart of white meat, 1 quart of dark meat, and then the back and the neck and the giblets are in the pot for the stock. So that's how you make this stretch as far as you possibly can. So we'll see how much we get out of it. Well, there's the yield. 2 quarts of meat, 6 pints of broth, and this is some very nice looking broth. I always use purified water so that it's always clear. Well, they're just pinging away. This is what you have to do when you're in this situation. And if you don't know how to can, you can get the information for free. You don't have to pay $10 for a canning manual like they are now. You can get them from the USDA, tell you everything you need to know about pressure canning. And you can get canners and jars at garage sales. So that's Not bad. For whatever weird reason, I got 2 less pints this time out of this chicken than I did the last one. So I'm not quite sure why that is, but if you can for very long at all, it just sort of works out that way sometimes. But for $2.73 plus 26 cents for each lid, I got that much chicken and that much broth. It's well worth the effort and the time.